is usually a little bumpy because everybody's like, there's a test. Yes. But you'll notice at the bottom there's a student statement that says, I understand and I've had explained to me the questions that I've missed. I paraphrased, that's not exactly what it says, but basically says, if you miss one, we're going to talk about it. It's all right. So this is an adult learning environment. It's not a pass-fail. We'll be okay. We're going to explain it to you. So number 1 is C.
Oh, I got that wrong.
Yes. Number 2 is A. Number 3 is C. Number 4 is B. Number 5 is C. Number 6 is D. Number 7 is B. Number 8 is A. Number 9 is B. Number 10 is D.
I got 100%.
All right, did anybody miss number 1? Number 2? Number 2. If an object is neutrally buoyant in salt water, now remember salt water is thicker, it's got salt in it. So if it's neutral, doesn't sink, doesn't float in salt water, what will happen when you put it in fresh water? It's gonna sink because fresh water isn't as dense. It's not as thick. Does that make sense? Right on. All right. Did anybody miss number 3?
Yes.
Number 3. A diver is 99 feet underwater. The pressure at this depth would be, remember the surface is 1, 33 feet is 2, 66 feet is 3, 99 feet is 4. So it's going to be 4 times. So in your book, they leave out 66 feet, which in your mind then you think, oh, there's just 3 things. And most people answer 3. That's usually the answer that everybody gets is 3. But it's that, and I think your book says you have to fail by leaving 66 feet out. That's my opinion. Okay? So it's 4. Surface is 1, 33 is 2, 66 is 3, 99 is 4. 4 times. Okay? Did anybody miss number 4? Number 4. Oh, this one's a little weird. So I'm holding a glass full of air upside down. I'm at the surface. And then I take that glass to the bottom of a swimming pool without tipping it. So I've got that air in that glass. Now remember, when we go underwater, things get compressed, right? Same amount of molecules in a smaller space is going to make that air more dense or thicker. So we take it down without tipping it, the density or thickness in the air in the glass will be greater than at the surface because it's squished.
I was thinking volume.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's okay. Like
Same
I said,
volume.
the first quiz is always the bumpiest.
Volume
It
decreases.
just is bumpy.
So that's why
It's
I was thinking
okay.
I was thinking it'd be less.
So did anybody miss number 5? No?
No,
Yes?
I just had a question.
Okay.
So then, if you're deeper, would you have to breathe less because you're getting the same amount of oxygen with less volume?
No. And I'll tell, and yes, theoretically that makes sense. But our lungs get compressed. We still have the need to fully inflate them. We are actually going to take in at 132 feet 5 times as much air. So our air actually is not going to last as long. But chalk? There's not chalk. That's okay. So when we're down there and we're everything is compressed, we're taking in 5 times as many more molecules, nitrogen molecules, right? What we're breathing right here is 21% oxygen, 79% nitrogen, and inert gases, all right? So when we're down at depth and we take in 5 times as many molecules at 132 feet, we're taking in 5 times as much nitrogen, which is the culprit for decompression sickness. So when we're at depth, we cannot stay as long anyway, so it doesn't really matter whether you're gonna breathe less or not. And you're not, you're gonna breathe more. Your tank is gonna go as you're deeper. Sorry, dude.
It makes sense, because your lungs have access to 5 times as much oxygen.
Yes.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, in the end, it really doesn't matter. You're gonna look at the really beautiful fish and all of the cool stuff. And the dive tables tell you you can only stay at 130 feet for 10 minutes anyway, so it doesn't matter. Because the rule says, don't stay longer than you're supposed to, don't go deeper than you're supposed to, and breathe. And Hunter's like, I don't like that answer at all.
I always forget the breathing part.
Breathing's good, we like breathing. Your brain will tell you to breathe, trust me. All right, so we were on number 6. Did anybody miss number 6? Yeah? That's all right.
I wasn't thinking though. As soon as you said the answer, I go, oh.
Okay. Did anybody else miss number 6?
What is number 6?
Number 6.
C.
What should I do to prevent mask squeeze? We didn't really talk about this, and it talks about it in the book. Great. What happens when you put a scuba mask on? The water pressure pushes against it. And if it's got a good seal, it essentially becomes a suction cup on your face. And so it actually pulls at the soft tissue around your eyes. And it can actually make you look like you got punched in both eyes. And I've seen it. You got black eyes, and the whites of your eyes are blood red because all the little capillaries all burst. And it's very not cool, but cool. It's kind of cool when it's not you. Let's put it that way.
So somebody should try it. while
So
we're on.
no, I don't want you to. Thank you very much. But what you'll do is exhale out your nose, and it equalizes that airspace that you've created.
That's why
with
you
putting
can't
the mask
use
on.
your goggles, because you have to have your nose
Right.
equal.
That's exactly right.
Oh.
Because you don't want little suction cups on your peepers. That would be bad.
So I can remember actually doing that with a snorkel,
Yikes. Yeah.
and all I did was I got water in the mask.
What, by blowing out through your nose?
Uh-huh.
You
Probably
blew
blew
pretty
too
hard
much.
then.
Yeah.
So what happens if you blow too much in your mask and then when you ascend, you're gonna have too much air in your mask?
You said
right?
through your nose.
No.
It'll bubble out.
No,
6C
it'll bubble
or
out.
is it
It'll be
B?
fine.
Oh,
It-
it'll get bubbles out?
It can.
Okay.
In my mask, every once in a while, I just want to exhale. And so I'll have bubbles escape here. I have a purge in my mask, so it goes out the bottom of my mask. But yeah, you'll see little bubbles. Everyone's, it's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. Water's not going to get in. You're good. And if it does, I've got to teach you to clear it.
See, I was thinking
Maybe
it
blow
was,
on
it was
top.
B, but it's not a pressure issue, it's just an air issue within the goggles. So holding
Yeah.
my nose would allow no more air to
Right.
Do that.
Yeah, you want more air in. I had a lady that we were at 125 feet of the blue hole in Belize, and it was her first deep dive, and I wanted to see if she was okay. And so I swam up to her, and I could see that the nose pocket on her mask was like, do I need to do this?
No, you're good.
Or do I need to do this? Anyway, the nose pocket on her mask was squished almost flat, and I'm like, this cannot be good. So I swam a little faster to get around the front of her to ask her if she was okay. And her eyes were all puffy, and she just had 2 little slits. I'm like, oh, this is definitely not good. So I point at my nose, breathe out, exhale, is what I was telling her. And she breathed out through her regulator. Okay.
And her eyes went back in.
No, because she still had all the pressure because she breathed through her reg, not her nose. She didn't equalize yet. I'm like, we're at 125 feet underwater. I can't really, So breathe out. She did everything equalized, and I'm like, okay. So when and her eyes were not black and blue. She did end up with some little purple freckles. I'm okay with purple freckles. But we got back on the boat, and she said, I didn't know if I'd be able to do this scuba thing. And I'm like, why, Carolyn? And she's like, the pressure. It was just so great. And everything started getting dark. And I'm like,
Oh no.
how much do I tell her? And I said, well, it's because you didn't equalize the pressure in your mask, and your eyes were getting really puffy. And she's like, oh. So I said, remember, in your open water class, which had been about 2 years prior, remember we talked about mask squeeze? Oh, yeah. So I kept looking at her eyes the rest of the week in Belize. I'm like, Okay, they're gonna get black and blue? No, we're okay. Okay, good. Alrighty. So, number 6, we went over that, right? Number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. We okay? Right on. Cool. Sign and date the bottom of that. You're saying that you understand and you've had explained to you the questions that you have missed.
Remember the date thing is funny.
Oh, the date thing I don't care about.
Oh, okay.
On that, I care only
the
on your
official-
birthday.
Okay.
On your birthday, so I don't mess it up when I do it on your certification card, because that will mess up your whole little world if you go, well, I was born on June 6th, not July 7th. Like, I'm sorry, I just did what it said. All right. So anybody got any questions on that now for me? No?
Hey, you have a birthday after the 12th.
They said birthday.
Aha! Good point.
1997, scratch that.
So, let's go to knowledge review number 2, section 2, or the end of section 2 in your open water diver manual.
Ooh.
Jack still has to share with Hunter.
Do we put these in our little thing?
Yes, hang on to those. Please, please, please.
But not these.
But not those. These I'm gonna hang on to. So,
We can study ahead for the final.
no. Well, thank you, but no.
Okay, I got a picture of it, guys.
He's got a photograph of me. Oh, no!
I have a photographic phone.
So we can study ahead for next week.
So what happened, like I said, you already told me we're okay if we miss a class, but how
Right.
do we take one of these quizzes when we miss?
You can
a
just
couple classes?
take it.
A couple of them?
And
next
then
week.
we-
The next
Are you
time.
gonna miss a couple of classes?
Then you ask one class.
What are the answers?
Two.
Return the
You take
menus.
the quiz.
Yes, sir, return the
Explain
menus.
as best as we can. the answers.
Section 2?
Oh, you gotta keep it?
We go
Okay,
to-
I won't be honest.
I trust you, it's okay.
Thank you.
As long as you're smart at the end.
You're
Does that
trust-
mean that- does that
You're
mean
trusting
only
me
when
with
you
your
say
life.
you'll be
I trust
out,
you with an
you're
answer
gonna be
sheet.
out?
Or with your-
Exactly.
Only when people are watching.
I took that as a.
Sir,
We may-
yes, sir.
We may need to talk.
You just said
There's
that.
the end of number 2. So it's this lighter blue, yeah, or green, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the end of that one, you'll find the knowledge review for it.
Okay.
You guys are being so silly back there in the back.
Yes. Since I had no idea of anything, but since just last week,
Yeah.
I have my brother and that good friend, that 80-year-old friend, they want to take me to Santa Cruz.
There you go, to scuba dive.
Mhm.
Very good. You'll be amazed at the people that you know that dive that you didn't know were divers before. It's dive. Yeah, that's one of those words that you go, I don't know what the
It's different.
plural or
You don't know
past is.
Jack.
Divin, there you go, that's another one. Dived. All right, so, what?
Dovin.
Listen.
Has it been a long day at work?
Dividend.
Mouse eye.
Divin? Dovin.
X.
There you go. Let's go diving. All right, so question 1 on knowledge review. Does anybody know what page that knowledge review for section 2 is?
114.
114. Let's all go to page 114. Except you. And he's like, I have it right in front of me. Thank you, sir. Awesome.
This is
All
my
right.
book, right?
Pardon?
This is my book.
This,
You can write
that
on
is
it.
your book to write in it. Please do write in it. And then here's the answers of last week's stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, question 1 says, I take a colorful fish identification slate with me while diving. Looking at the slate underwater in 40 feet, I would expect the slate to look
Dark.
larger and more and less colorful. So it's C and D. So as we go deeper, the red, yellow, and orange of the light spectrum can't penetrate the water after about 40 feet. So that's why all the little colorful fish, they stay more shallow because they need that part of the light spectrum. And then the bigger fish are
Well, actually, the ones, the real colorful fish that are down deep